This is the omelet that I actually cooked and served two of the best cooks in America. I've never tasted it. And then I'm also going to cook the omelet I intended to cook for two of the best cooks in America and see, would it have really mattered that much? I was on a competition, 100 Cooks. A lot of you have seen it, and a lot of you were so good to cheer for me and root for me, and I was excited to be there. But today I'm going to break down what happened on the Food Network. What was I trying to do? What did I actually do? And then another thing that's very important to me is, I know the omelet I was trying to make. I saw the omelet I actually made, but I have never tasted the omelet I actually made because it left out several ingredients that I wanted to get in there due to time. So we're going to make both omelets today. The omelet I wanted to make and the omelet I actually made, and then I'm going to try them both and I'm going to judge myself and see, was Nick right? Now looking at my table, you may see one of my first mistakes. This omelet, I was trying to think simple because they gave us 12 minutes. And this omelet isn't the most simple omelet. I already have too many ingredients to cook and prep in 12 minutes. I grabbed them all and I made it down there in time to start cooking, but I realized all too soon that I was going to run out of time if I prepped them all, so I had to weed them out in my brain. I honestly don't know how it tastes without some of the ingredients I left out. Thankfully I remember it so I can show y'all what I left out and see how does it actually taste. Now, the second mistake I made was, obviously the Kirk surface I had there was about a third of this, and I grabbed a cast iron to go on my little 2 eyes on the stove. Not a great choice because cast iron takes a long time to preheat up. This has already been preheating, so it is ready to go. Pop my sausage out of its skins here. Now, if you remember, Nick said he likes Italian sausage, but he thought mine had too much in it. So we'll remember to put a little too much sausage in it and see how much that affects it. So as soon as I got my sausage on the thing, I tried to come over here and prep, and I realized prepping all the mushrooms, prepping all this was going to take some time, so we'll just get a few mushrooms. I will say I was a little more nervous cutting with Terry Crews looking over my shoulder. I don't even know if the man likes food, but I was a little bit starstruck to even be meeting him. No idea that he was going to be on a food show, but I have respect for the man because anybody that can like food and look like that, I must be eating the wrong food or cooking the wrong food one. A huge thank you to Spot and Tango for sponsoring today's video. One thing I really enjoy is cooking for my family. I love getting everybody around the table and seeing them enjoy something that I've worked really hard on. But there's one member of the family I don't really cook for, and I honestly used to feel a little guilty about that. Thankfully, I found something that I feel really good about feeding Scout, and he gets just as excited about mealtime as the kids do. This is Spot and Tango UnKibble. UnKibble is cooked at low temperatures, which preserves nearly 99% of the food's flavor, aroma, and nutrients. It's made with 100% whole, fresh, human-grade ingredients, and every single ingredient is written right on the front of the bag. I appreciate that because I know exactly what he's getting. You can even see the pieces of freeze-dried meat mixed in, and it's made in small batches with nothing artificial. And Scout absolutely loves it. He's a picky eater, but he'll clean his bowl every time. Another thing I like is that Spot and Tango creates a personalized plan based on your dog's age, breed, and activity level, and it comes with a custom scoop sized for your dog's ideal calorie intake, so feeding him is simple. I love that it gives you the benefits of fresh food with the convenience of dry food. The bags are shelf stable, they ship right to your door, and the smaller bags help keep everything fresh. Plus, it's around 40% less expensive than many other fresh food brands, which is nice when you're feeding a family and a dog. So while I'm out here making dinner for everybody else, I know Scout's getting something that I feel good about too. If you've been looking for a dog food that you can truly feel good about, you need to try Spot and Tango UnKibble. And now is the best time because you can save 50% off using my code BATES50 at checkout. On top of that, if your pup doesn't like it, it's money back guaranteed. So check the link in my description below and get 50% off your Spot and Tango UnKibble dog food using code BATES50. Mushroom was great. Now, grab my spatula real quick, get this flipped. Oh, good char on that. I love that. This is going to be beautiful. One thing I always say in the kitchen, and it's a very important thing, just slow down. Life's not a race, or at least cooking's not a race. In this case, cooking was a race, and I was not prepared for a race because I like to take my time and work on my flavor. Now I went with shallot for this one because it's a little milder than onion, but it gives a sweet Italian flavor, and I thought that would pair well with this, and that's how I make it when I make it, is with shallot instead of onion. I think that was a good choice. I went ahead and made sure that got in there. And now let's chop up our sausage real quick here. I can already see that at the speed I was moving, there were probably some chunks of Italian sausage left because this stuff is not chopping up well, and I was in a hurry, and there was not a lot of light in there, so I can definitely see there were probably some chunks. When that sausage finishes out, we're going to really quick finish up our last bits. Now garlic takes a long time, and I honestly don't remember what I did for garlic there. I think I had to mince it by hand real quick. I don't think I had a garlic press there, but a garlic press would have been very nice for this one. I will say grabbing things like garlic without a garlic press is a bold move, one that I probably wouldn't make again. I would go for pre-minced or something like that just because the time it takes, and when you're stressed, it's harder to have clean knife work. Now granted, a lot of those cooks didn't seem to matter. There were some really great cooks in there, and meeting them was probably the best part of the whole experience. Some great stories, some great cooks, and some great food. One of the things I hate is that we didn't get to try anybody else's food. There was some food there that I really would have loved to try and taste, and some cooks that would have loved to show off their food and have other people taste it. But I mean, you can't make everything happen. I do hope to meet up with some of them and try their food over the rest of the next couple years and see what I can learn. I've already learned a lot from several of them that were very quick to share secrets, tips, tricks. A lot of them have been cooking for a long time, some of them longer than I've been alive. And then some of them were relatively new but had some great insight and great knowledge. Let's get this over here off of my heat and in my sausage grease. Let me scrape off all that fond. A little olive oil, a little butter, and we'll go in with our shallot here. And I'll also get our mushroom down in this dry area. Now I don't want my mushroom to really be getting oil or butter yet because it'll soak that up. I want it to kind of dry out a little bit. And I will save my garlic out. Now one of the first things I skipped was using any of my cherry tomatoes. Those are too much work for sure, so we left them off. But I'm going to include them in the omelet that I want to put them with. Forgot I'm making 2 omelets. I need a little more garlic. So sun-dried tomatoes is another choice I made, and I love sun-dried tomatoes mixed in this omelet. To me, that's one of the biggest things that sets this apart, is just the flavor of this paired with the basil, sausage, and a little spinach. About a week after I get home, I'm watching Instagram on a YouTube reel of Nick rating food he likes and dislikes. And would you know that one of the foods he dislikes is sun-dried tomatoes? Oh well, you live and you learn. Onions are getting good and soft. Mushrooms are browning up nicely. I'm a lot less stressed. Need to make sure we get salt and pepper at every step. But mine's kind of drawing a blank because I'm used to my pepper grinder here. I don't know how I did pepper there. I must have had a pot with it or something. I remember the salt pot thing because I love my salt wells and use them a lot. And they had a salt well there. Now, half of the garlic in this mix, a little garlic in with these. This is so aromatic. This is one of my favorite parts of this omelet. So aromatic, so good. I don't know why I don't make this omelet more often. Probably because of all the ingredients in it. I'm going to add a little bit of olive oil to my sun-dried tomatoes, even though they're already got some oil in them. And then I'm going to drop in my spinach and wilt them down with all of these veggies. Fold the veggies over the top. Try to wilt this down. Roll my mushrooms in. Now here's where things really went awry. As I'm getting to this part, I realize that there is literally less than 3 minutes on the clock. Do you see what my omelet is missing at this point in time? Cheese. Now tell me how in the world you make an omelet without cheese. I have selected mozzarella cheese. This is this full gooey cheese that's going to really make it stand out. And then I have Parmesan as a little addition to it. Also, one other thing that I forgot, which was so essential when I was cooking there. I didn't get to, if you'll see the lemon, still here. The cherry tomatoes, still here. The basil. This is an important part to add the herbs in with all of those ingredients. That's not in there. So let's roll that up right here. Now, while I was plating, I did try to sprinkle a little chopped basil over top of the omelet, but not that that was hugely helpful for what I needed it to be and what I needed it to do. Let's pop my 3 eggs right here. I'm all ready to go ahead and make the omelet I wanted to make instead of the omelet I did make. I'm ready to put this in my past and get it behind me. A little eggshell in there. 3 eggs, because every omelet should have 3 eggs. A little salt, a little pepper. Now one more thing that absolutely went wrong for me out there was I had this little skillet thing, whatever you call them things. They go over 2 eyes. It's like a cast iron long thing. And I set it up on the oven, just assuming that the oven was level. And I go and I pour my egg in a line down it. Whoop, part of my egg just went down the hole. And it was not level. It was not level at all. Should turn that off. So I had to rush and real quick, spoon this, brush everything up out of the little tray that holds it. and I just threw together what I could real quick, folded it over. I think this one might even look worse than the one I made him. Woohoo! Yeah, this one definitely looks worse. It's okay, Nick, look, I've made a worse omelet than the one I served you. Woo! Here's our omelet. Add a little bit of what we used here to garnish it.
Hi, Daddy.
And I realized that I had misread the clock. There was actually more time on the clock than I realized was on there. So I hurriedly grabbed my shredder and began shredding Parmesan furiously over my omelet, knowing that there was none inside. I didn't quite put that much. And this is the omelet, the very unfortunate omelet that I served to Nick and Alex on 100 Cooks. And I'm kind of afraid to find out how it actually tastes. So now, I'm not loving what I made, but let's see what I actually could have made. First thing we're going to add is I'm going to blister these tomatoes. A little olive oil around them, a little salt, a little pepper, nice. A little basil into our spinach to add to that sun-dried tomato. Let's go ahead and squeeze a little acid with a lemon here. Nice, a little over our acidic tomatoes, not that they need it. And then I will crack my 3 eggs real quick. I didn't have a big double yolker like this there. Yes, I knew it was a double yolker. Look at that, 2 yolks. So, out of curiosity, if I'm making an omelet and I use 3 eggs, but one of them is a double yolk, is that a 3-egg omelet? Or is it a 3.5-egg omelet? Is it a 4-egg omelet since there's 4 yolks? Is there a rule about that? Does anybody even know? Somebody tell me. Somebody tell the boy. I don't know. So here we go. This is one of the most important ingredients that I really wanted to be in my omelet. It pains me that this was not in my omelet because everybody knows that every omelet was designed to be made with cheese. You've got to have cheese. And this creamy mozzarella will set this apart with that egg. This is the part that I really think is going to make the biggest difference when I taste these omelets. And if I'm wrong, I'm fine to be wrong. But it really feels like the most important part. And let's shred some of this parm because we're going to mix this in with it. Whoa, the wind is blowing out here a lot stronger than it was on 100 Cooks. We'll just mix these cheeses together because that's what's going to happen anyways. Now, let's get our proper spatula. Big long one. Oh yes, nice blistered tomatoes. Mix this down. We're going to find this happy spot. We're not going to let our egg fall down the thing this time. Find this happy spot between on and off. We're going to, cold butter. Oh yes, nice temps. Off on both sides. Oh, this is going to make a nice omelet. This is really going to make a nice omelet. Sorry, Nick. Sorry, Alex. Y'all got messed up. Look at this cheese. Let's go with some cheese right off. Sprinkle it all through it a little bit. Yes. Now let's go with our spinach and tomato. Some Italian sausage. We don't want too much Italian sausage, Nick told us. That doesn't look like too much. That looks delectable. Oh, we're getting too hot. Fold these sides in. Fold these sides in. Scoot off the heat. We are too hot. Let's roll this up. Oh, need another spatula. Oh, please be careful, little daddy. Oh, roll this up. Oh, this is big. This is big. I did not expect it to be this big. Little sprinkle of basil. Scoop up the rest of our omelet ingredients. Everything that's left on the pan goes as garnish, except for this tiny little garlic peel. Thankfully, I didn't get in trouble for that. Somebody did. This is exactly what I intended to make. Little Parmesan. Sometimes 2 things can be so close and yet so far away from each other. And this is one of those scenarios. There's so much difference in what could have been and what really was. It doesn't look like it on the outside. Both look amazing. But I wonder what's on the inside. I almost feel stressed again. This is the moment of truth. This is when you see, does the food you cooked that actually looks all right actually taste all right? Nick, I'm sorry for what I did to you, my man. Let's see if it was really as bad as it sounded, though. Let's get in here to the middle where there's actually full filling. I'm going to have to admit, that's pretty bad. It's not as bad as I thought it would be, but I'm still pretty humiliated to have fed that to NickDiGiovanni. Dude's cooked for everybody in the world. Dude perfect in all of them. And I will say, not having cheese makes even a little bit of Italian sausage feel so much more sausagey. Like that's one of the first things I noticed when I bit into it. The spinach, everything is just overpowered by the Italian sausage. And I didn't even put as much in this omelet as I did in the other one. It doesn't look like an overwhelming amount. I wonder how this one, if it's still just as overpowering. And I've already had this omelet a lot of times, so I know that it is not, but let's see the difference. World's different. 100%. In hindsight, I believe if I had taken the time I spent on the mushrooms and invested that in shredding the mozzarella cheese, it would have been a totally different outcome. Because I don't know that the mushrooms add that much to the dish, but 100% the cheese is a make or break. You can't have an omelet without cheese. Alex, I owe you an apology as well. You were very kind about this omelet. Alex, just as sweet as she could say it, looked at me and said, I believe that you make this a lot. And Alex, I don't make that a lot. That is awful. I'm embarrassed that I fed you that. On the other hand, if I had fed you this, it would have been a very good omelet that you would have remembered. Because it's not your everyday average omelet with just ham and bacon and cheddar cheese. This is a really good omelet with lots of good flavor layers. Couple poor decisions. Time management by grabbing a cast iron. Time management by grabbing mushrooms over cheese. And in the end, not that far off, but just not close enough. So anyways, for all of my 5 seconds on the Food Network, it was an amazing time. I got to meet some amazing people, and I learned a valuable lesson. Don't skip the cheese. Quite honestly, if Alex and Nick had taken a bite of this omelet instead of this one, they would have been thanking me later. And so will you, because this is a really good omelet.